Before we talk about the top 3 tips for flourishing, let's define what a flourish is. So a flourish is an embellishment or an enhancement. It is something that will add to the letter to give some style, but should not take away from legibility. So in this word flourishing, we can still clearly read every letter, but there are some extra decorations. So like the bottom of this R is a flourish, the loop of this G is embellished a little bit, and then same with the top of this H. So the first tip or the first rule for flourishing is to base all of the shapes off of the oval shape. So I can pick any of these flourish shapes and draw some ovals within to show you that as these lines were drawn, they were based on an overarching oval shape. And using an oval shape will help keep your flourishes nice and smooth, and then also look consistent with your lettering because all of the letters are also based off of this oval shape. So everywhere we have a flourish, you can fit ovals inside of these shapes. And sometimes the ovals are overlapping each other or interlocking or inside of each other. The second tip is to cross your lines at 90-degree angles, or as close to 90 degrees as you can get. So for instance, right here, these two lines are crossing and we're at about a 90-degree angle. And everywhere that we're crossing lines, we're staying as close to that angle as we can. Now, you're probably not going to get an exactly perpendicular line every single time you do a flourish, but that's what you should be aiming for because that will help you see where the lines are crossing and it will look more pleasing to the eye. Okay, and the third tip is to cross thin lines with thick lines. So right here we have this thin line is crossing this thick line of the G. You can also cross two thin lines, so like in this area we have thin lines crossing each other, but you should avoid crossing two thick lines. So you would not want to cross a thick line with another thick line because that will just be too much thickness in one area. So thin and thick is okay. Thin and thin is okay, but avoid thick and thick. Now the last bonus tip is to plan out your flourishes by looking at the word, or if you're writing out a quote, looking at it as a whole and making sure that you are keeping things balanced. So you don't want to have too much flourishing that it's not legible or distracting. So again, the flourishes should add or enhance the letters and not take away from them. And then you also want to think about filling the white space. So for instance, we added this flourish on the bottom of the R because there would have been some white space within here. Same with on top of the word in the H. Now you don't have to fill up every single white space, but that's just a good guideline of thinking about where to add your flourishes. So just to recap, we keep our flourishes shaped like ovals, cross them at about 90-degree angles, and avoid crossing two thick lines.